Me Too movement is. It was actually started over a decade ago by an activist, Tarana Burke. And Tarana joins us now to discuss her work. Tarana, thank you for joining us, first of all. You started this hashtag movement in 2006, and you focused on what you called empowerment through empathy. What do you mean by that?
So Me Too started not as a hashtag. It started as a campaign of an organization that I founded, Just Be Inc. And empowerment through empathy was the thing that I felt that helped me, which was that other survivors who empathized with my situation helped me to feel like I wasn't alone and gave me sort of entry into my healing journey.
At first, your work focused on women of color, and it's now expanded. Tell me about how it's changed.
Well, my focus in all the work that I do is for the most marginalized people. And so I worked with young women of color in the South. And then when we moved our work into we had a MySpace page, and women started coming forward and talking to us and saying, thank you for this, and we needed it. And we realized it had to expand to more than young people. And so we worked with young women, mostly Black and brown women, across, through our MySpace page, but also throughout the South, and then later in Philadelphia and New York.
You know, we're hearing critics of this campaign say that if this had been an issue that was just pervasive in the Black community or for people of color, that this would not have gotten the traction that it did with the Hollywood celebrities. What do you make of that sentiment?
I mean, it's true. I think we've seen that before. We've seen it in other cases. I mean, like Leslie Jones was targeted online, on Twitter, and there was not a groundswell of support for her and across Hollywood. And so I think that's the case, not just in Hollywood, that people of color are usually the last to be supported around a variety of issues. So,
why?
Because of racism, because of oppression, because of the way the systems work in this country. The least of these are the least of these. And so we have to speak up ourselves, and we have to create movements ourselves, and we have to insert ourselves in larger movements.
Lupita Nyong'o came out yesterday, on Thursday, with an op-ed in the New York Times. What did you make of her story?
You know, it's so sad, and it's so, just all of the stories are sad. But just in relation to what you were just saying, it's like this is evidence that this happens across the board. So we've had all of these other actresses that have come forward haven't been people of color. But it made it seem like it might be just white women, but it's not. It's these people who are predators prey on everybody.
You started this movement, Me Too. Alyssa Milano helped get this hashtag up and running.
Absolutely.
Are you in touch with her?
Yes. A lot of people, once the Me Too hashtag started gaining popularity, people who were familiar with my work, I started getting bombarded with messages and why don't I see your name attached to this? And so people were saying, Tarana Burke has a Me Too that she already does, and why isn't she being talked about? And so Alyssa reached out to me early, Tuesday, and said, I want to meet you. I think that your work is amazing. And we've been in contact. I was on Good Morning America the other day.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yes, and we've talked about collaborating to both, she says that she's very committed to making sure the goals of the work that I do are met and put forward.
One of the things I struggle with, we do these stories.